So today we be watching the most crazy. If y'all do want to know that water, I am. I'm like y'all. I'm so hungry. I'm washing up and I'm taking a veil. That's how bad I want this stuff, gang. But yeah, we gonna try to keep that water down. Yeah, boom. Today we're gonna be reacting to the most dangerous ride that people died on. So let's get into it.
28th, 2008, 17-year-old Asia LaShawn Ferguson visited Six Flags Over Georgia with his
Six
family and
Flags?
church group. The Batman was an inverted roller coaster where passengers'
Okay.
legs dangled freely below the
I
track.
ain't gonna lie. Listen, I've been on one roller coaster and that was on CJ Barrymore and it was small and I was still scared. I'm gonna be scared to get on a big roller coaster, especially. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I never been on a Ferris wheel before. I never been on a plane, a Ferris wheel, anything that saw people got stuck on or died on. I don't want to get on it. I don't want to get on it.
During his ride, Ferguson's hat flew off his head. After the ride ended, he wanted to retrieve it. The hat had landed in a restricted area beneath the roller coaster tracks.
Okay.
Warning signs marked the zone as off limits. Ferguson climbed over two 6-foot fences to reach the area where his hat had
I
fallen.
ain't gonna lie.
As he
That's doing too much over a hat. Yo, just go buy a new one. Let that hat go. Really, just let that hat go, gang. But I don't think he knew he was gonna lose his life. But if they say don't enter, it's probably a good reason why you're not supposed to be entering that. But let's finish watching.
searched below, another train approached on the track above him.
Wait,
the train was
train?
traveling at 50 miles.
Dang. So he got. Oh, nah, this brutal. Oh my god. Did his head come off? Yo, I want to. He trying to get his hat. But y'all don't see him getting lift y'all feet up.
per hour. A passenger's dangling foot struck Ferguson in the head. The impact was instant. Ferguson was decapitated.
His head fell off. His head fell off. No way. No way his head fell off. They gotta be over exaggerating. No way this man's head fell off. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That's all I'm talking about. Like, stuff like that is dead crazy, gang. Oh, you just died over a hat and your head fell off. Over a hat.
Witnesses saw the collision. The train continued to the station, while Ferguson's body lay below. Six Flags temporarily closed the Batman ride.
Temporarily, y'all should have closed it fully. If I was his family, I would have tried to sue. I would have dared tried to sue.
He opened the following day. The park added security around restricted areas and more warning signs. Ferguson's death became one of the most graphic roller coaster fatalities in recent years. The Big Dipper. On May 30th,
The Big Dipper sounds scary. It sounds like it killed mad people before. The Big Dipper, yeah, okay. You want to see me going on another called the Big Dipper or the Batman?
1972, a warm Tuesday afternoon in London, schools had just broken up for half term, and
Okay.
Battersea Fun Fair was packed. The Big Dipper was
Wait,
the
what
Big
is
Dipper.
this?
On May 30th, 1972, a warm Tuesday afternoon in London, schools had just broken up for half term, and Battersea Fun Fair was packed. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster that had been operating since 1951.
It's 2026, gang. A wooden roller coaster. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that whole thing collapsed.
3 cars connected by a steel cable.
Okay.
The cable pulled the cars up a steep incline, then gravity did the rest. Around 2:30 p.m., 31 passengers climbed aboard, mostly children and teenagers.
Okay.
At the front rode a brakeman whose job was to control the brakes. The train began its climb. Then the haulage rope snapped. The train hesitated at the top, then started rolling backwards. The brakeman lunged for the brake lever, but nothing happened. The brake system did not respond. The safety devices that should have stopped a rollback were missing or broken. As the train picked up speed, it hit the curve at the bottom at full speed. The wooden track couldn't handle the force. The first car jumped the rails, smashed through the barrier, and plunged 15
Wait, huh? So look, that it gotta be playing. The thing that's supposed to stop something like that didn't work. Hold on, what?
backwards. The brakeman lunged for the brake lever, but nothing happened. The brake system did not respond. The safety devices that should have stopped a rollback were missing or broken. As the train picked up speed, it hit the curve at the bottom at full speed. The wooden track couldn't handle the force. The first car jumped the rails, smashed through the barrier, and plunged 15 feet. The other
Oh my god. Like, imagine how painful that is. Like, if you dying or like 15, like that's dead painful and bad. Like,
2 cars followed. Passengers were thrown from their seats. When the chaos ended, 5 children were dead, and 13 others were seriously
5 children?
injured. Later, a 15-year-old girl who had survived the crash was standing on a wooden walkway when the platform collapsed beneath her feet. She fell to her death. When the chaos ended,
Like,
5
I know she thought she lived. I know she's like, just for her to, oh my God, nah, this like in a movie.
children were dead, and
This is
13
dead
others were
movie.
seriously injured.
R.I.P.
Later,
on them.
a 15-year-old girl who had survived the crash was standing on a wooden walkway when the platform collapsed beneath her feet. She fell to her death. The subsequent investigation revealed 66 safety violations. The rope was in poor condition. Most safety devices were missing or broken. Investigators also found that employees had been drinking and using.
Wait, hold on, I see drugs.
The subsequent investigation revealed 66 safety violations. The rope was in poor condition. Most safety devices were missing or broken. Investigators also found that employees had been drinking and using drugs while working. The ride's
Oh my God, arrest all of them. Close that whole part down. Close that whole. Y'all doing drugs while y'all on work with little kids and adults and with people life. Get them life. No, get them death sentence. No, have them go on that ride. Have them ride that ride and make them die the same way.
manager and engineer were later acquitted of manslaughter charges. The Big Dipper was torn down, and Battersea Fun Fair closed by 1970.
Fresh lemonade!
Sorry, kid, I don't get paid till Friday.
Just use Bridget and get up to $250 instantly.
Britain brought fairgrounds under safety laws following the incident. The Shockwave. On August 23, 1999, 20-year-old Timothy Fan visited King's Dominion with a friend. The Shockwave was a stand-up roller coaster. Passengers stood upright, secured
I
by
never think I've been on a stand-up roller coaster. Hold on. Look at the picture. Somebody fell out.
shoulder harnesses and waist bars. Fan boarded the 6-car train. As the train climbed the lift hill and began its descent, witnesses noticed something wrong. Fan was wiggling and struggling against his restraints. He managed to work one arm free from the shoulder harness. His body began to contort sideways as the train gained speed through the course. Near the end of the ride, the coaster entered a 180-degree curve. The forces acting on Fan's body proved too powerful. He was violently ejected from the train and thrown 40 feet onto a catwalk beside the tracks. Fan died instantly from head trauma.
Oh my God. Oh no, you know he did. He died. Yo. And and that's why if I ever open this up, I'm gonna make sure everybody buckled in right. You will not be able to breathe. I'm gonna buck you in so tight because you ain't down on my ride.
When the train returned to the station, Fahn's restraints were still locked. He had deliberately worked himself free during the ride. The Shockwave reopened 3 days later. The Mindbender. On June 14, 1986, the West Edmonton Mall in Alberta was packed with visitors. The mall housed an indoor amusement park featuring the Mindbender,
Okay.
a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The Mindbender had 4 cars connected in a train. It reached speeds of 60 miles per hour and took passengers through 3 complete loops. The ride had passed a safety inspection the day before. That evening, Rod Chico and 3 friends climbed into the last car of the train. The train launched and completed the first 2 loops. As it entered the third,
Now imagine he would have still been alive if they never been on that ride or if they never just went there. Like y'all realize that. And then it haven't been a single adult. It been nothing but teenagers and little kids that died. Yeah, y'all won't catch me on no roller coaster. Y'all won't.
4 cap screws in the wheel assembly failed. The last car began to fishtail wildly. The wheel detached from the
What do
track.
fishtail
The
mean?
car derailed completely. The train launched and completed the first 2 loops. As it entered the third loop, 4 cap screws in the wheel assembly failed. The last car began to fishtail wildly. The wheel detached from the track. The car derailed completely. The lap bar restraints unlocked, ejecting all 4 passengers 30 feet to the concrete floor below. The train, slowed by the derailment, rolled backwards and crashed into a concrete support pillar. Rescuers found 3 passengers dead. Rod Chico survived, but was critically injured. Both his legs were shattered.
You know what's crazy? They the only ones that died. They're the only ones that got hurt. The only ones, that's either karma or that's just a coincidence. That's karma or that's something, gang. Cause ain't no way y'all the only one that did that. Nobody else is only yours.
Along with his ribs, shoulder, pelvis, and lower back. His
Pelvis.
body was folded in half from the impact. He spent months learning to walk again. The investigation found design flaws in the wheel assembly and inadequate maintenance. The cap screws had worked loose over time. The mind bender was closed for months while
ain't gonna lie,
engineers
gang.
redesigned
I
the
feel
system.
like-
When it
Bro. Game. What I was gonna say, y'all gotta check on stuff like that, game. Y'all did have to check on stuff like that. Y'all gotta make sure all that stuff's safe and good, bro. But no, y'all don't care. Look, now mad people dying because y'all don't care about the safety.
reopened, anti-rollback devices were installed.
I feel like if somebody die, why would y'all reopen it? Why would y'all reopen it?
Seatbelts were added, and the train was reduced from 4 cars to 3. The accident became Canada's worst roller coaster disaster.
Canada.
The Big Dipper 2. On July 24th,
If the Big Dipper 1 didn't work out, the fuck make you think a Big Dipper 2 gonna work out? Yeah, y'all niggas is fucking dumb.
1930, a hot summer day in Omaha, Nebraska, Krug Park was packed with visitors. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster, 4 cars connected in a train.
Did
The
y'all not want y'all listen about the last wooden roller coaster?
ride pulled passengers up the first hill, then gravity did the rest. That afternoon, 23 passengers filled the 4 cars. Among them were Gladys Lundgren, C.H. Stout, Anthony Politica,
What is
and
that?
15-year-old Ruth Frell. The train began its climb up the first hill. Then a bolt in the brake mechanism worked loose and jammed one of the wheels. The first car jumped the track. It broke through the guardrail and plunged 35 feet to the ground. The other 3
Y'all
cars
would've-
were dragged off
if
behind
they
it.
were
The
like,
passengers
if
were...
they would have grabbed like I think it would have broke. But say somebody would have like grabbed the wooden plank. You think they would have been able to survive? Like say it didn't break or something. You think they would have survived, y'all? Or nah?
thrown from their seats or crushed beneath the derailed cars. The impact was devastating. 4 people were dead and 19 others were seriously injured. But the crowd of spectators had
You see, if I ever get hurt on a roller coaster or a ride, I'm broke. You getting sued. You getting sued. I'm suing y'all. I'm dead. I don't care. Y'all saying everything getting free from me. No. You still go get sued by me.
pushed forward to see what happened. Thousands of people surrounded the crash site, blocking emergency access. Ambulances arrived, but couldn't reach the victims. Police were forced to break down sections.
Like, and then, yes, somebody get shot, somebody die, somebody get beat up. Dang, y'all all want to just sit there and look. Bro, it's people, life's in danger. If y'all not finna help them, get the fuck out the way, move.
The park fence to create routes for medical personnel. The investigation found that the loose bolt had caused the wheel to lock up, forcing the car off the rails. Krug Park never recovered. Attendance dropped, and the park closed by 1940. The city of Omaha banned roller
See?
coasters for
That whole park closed.
years afterwards. The site was later converted into a public park with no rides. The Big Dipper accident became known as the deadliest roller coaster disaster in U.S.
Yeah, the Big Dipper 1 and the Big Dipper 2.
history at that time. The Matterhorn bobsleds. On January 3rd, 1984, 48-year-old Dolly Young visited Disneyland with 5 friends. The
Disney World? He said Disney World. I think it's called Disney World, you dummy.
Matterhorn bobsleds featured small sleds that traveled through an artificial mountain at 43 miles per hour. Young sat alone in her sled while her friends took the parallel track. The sleds began their descent through the mountain's tunnels. Partway through the ride, Young fell from her bobsled onto the tracks.
Wait,
And
what?
Young sat alone in her sled while her friends took the parallel track. The sleds began their descent through the mountain's tunnels. Partway through the ride, Young fell from her bobsled onto the tracks.
How?
An oncoming sled approached on the parallel track. The family inside thought the figure on the tracks was a dummy. The bobsled struck Young at full speed. She was decapitated instantly. The father in the oncoming sled realized what had
No.
happened.
This what I'm finna say. All you had to do was go with your friends. You would have still been alive. You wanted to go by yourself. And then they said they think it was a dummy. Why would they put a dummy on the track?
He screamed at his
They knew it wasn't no dummy. They knew a dummy looked that realistic. And then all you had to do was get on the same ride with your friends. You would have still been here.
daughters to close their eyes as their sled passed over Young's body. The ride operators shut down the attraction when Young's empty sled arrived at the station. Young was pronounced dead at the scene. Her safety restraint was found fastened on a neighboring seat. The Matterhorn reopened the next day. Disney made modifications to the ride, though the changes were not disclosed. The Wild Wonder. On August 28, 1999, Kimberly Bailey and her 8-year-old daughter Jessica visited Jillian's Wonderland Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me the 8-year-old died. Oh my God, don't tell me the 8-year-old died. Please, that little kid died. They need to go to jail, I ain't gonna lie.
The Wild Wonder was a small steel roller coaster. Individual cars were pulled up a 40-foot incline before rolling through the course. Bailey and Jessica climbed into one of the cars. As their car neared the top of the lift hill, the anti-rollback mechanism failed. The car lost contact with the lift chain and began rolling backwards down the incline. The car gained speed as it hurtled toward the station. It crashed violently into the loading area at the bottom. Bailey and Jessica were thrown from the car. Both died instantly.
If you think you're lazy, just
Like, gang, it's dead people. Like, this is dumb. Yo, do y'all not see all these other incidents or all these other...
understand that there's somebody out there that has a final.
That is literally 40%.
The park had replaced the coaster's anti-rollback device with an unapproved, locally made part. The faulty component had failed to engage. The Wild Wonder was shut down and removed. New Jersey upgraded its regulations to require manufacturer-approved parts only.
Okay.
The Derby Racer. In 1911, the Derby Racer opened at Revere Beach, Massachusetts. It featured 2 parallel tracks where trains raced against each other in a figure-8 pattern. The ride had no restraints, no speed
Now, I already know. They finna collide. They finna collide. Watch what I say.
controls, and basic wooden construction. Passengers simply held on as the trains raced around curves and hills. Within weeks of opening, disaster struck. A man was thrown from his car
Not months, not nothing. They go weeks.
during a turn and died. Later that year, the company's own treasurer was killed. He had stood up in his car to lecture passengers about safety when he was ejected from the ride. Authorities closed the coaster and demanded
After that, I would've shut it down. After that, the old man that's supposed to direct safety died. Other man died. Y'all gonna keep opening up these rides, and everybody's gonna keep on dying.
safety improvements. The owners installed primitive brakes and lap bars before reopening, but the deaths continued. On a busy day in 19...
Continue. The deaths continue. And once you, and the people that get on the rides is dumb. Once y'all heard 2 people died, why would y'all even get on the ride? Like, are y'all dumb?
17, a man lost his hat during the ride. He tried to retrieve it and fell out of...
Like the last time. What's up with y'all? If I lose my hat game or my ski mask, I dead won't care. I got my ski mask for $15 at a gas station. A Nike ski mask for $15 at a gas station. Then I'm just gonna buy a new one. Like, bro, that hat can't be that precious, gang. You lost your life over a hat.
his car on a high incline. He landed on the adjacent track. The other racing train struck him at full speed. The wreckage told the story. The impact broke nearly every bone in his body. He died shortly after. Another passenger was thrown from the train in 19...
Shortly dying, like dying slowly. If I'm gonna die, just kill me or I just survive. I don't want to die slowly, I ain't gonna lie.
29. Despite 3 confirmed deaths and numerous injuries, the Derby Racer continued operating for 25 years. Each incident led to...
25 and people keep dying. No, I'm suing. They would have been got a lawsuit by me. I would have got all that money.
minor modifications, but the fundamental design remained dangerous. The ride's license was revoked and reinstated multiple times as authorities struggled with deadly attraction. The Derby Racer finally closed in 1936 when it was replaced by a newer model. It became known as one of the most dangerous roller coasters ever built. The Rough Riders. In 1910, the Rough Riders roller coaster opened at Coney Island. The ride featured... It became known as one of the most dangerous roller coasters ever built. The Rough Riders. In 1910, the Rough Riders roller coaster opened at Coney Island. The ride featured...
Coney Island is good. The chili cheese fries, some of their breakfast. Coney Island is good. Like, if you don't like Coney Island, I don't know what's wrong with you.
An electric-powered system where the motorman controlled speed with a throttle. That first year, the train derailed on a sharp curve. 17 passengers were thrown from the track. 3 people were dead, and many others were seriously injured. Coney Island officials made minor improvements, but the ride continued operating. 5 years later, on July 27, 1915, 6 passengers boarded the Rough Riders. As the train gained speed down a steep incline, it approached a sharp turn. The motorman took the turn too fast. The train's wheels left the track. The car
Gang,
flipped on its
what you
side
think
30 feet in
about
the air.
Do he think we in a car? He finna swerve through traffic, gang. These is people's life you was worrying about. People's life you put like these is people real life, gang. It's not no dummies. These is people real life. You over here trying to act like you SRT wins or license or somebody, gang. No, you not.
Passengers were hurled into an iron railing and fell to the ground below. The damage was severe. 3 riders were killed by the
Taken to
fall.
jail.
2 others clung to the wrecked car until police rescued them. A woman and her son survived by hanging onto the handrail. A bystander on the ground was struck by a falling body. The Rough Riders had now killed 6 people in 5 years. The ride was shut down after the 1915 accident and dismantled within a few years. The repeated tragedies helped establish early safety regulations at Coney Island, including requirements for better braking systems.
Nah, you let me down. Coney Island is good. You don't kill people, Coney Island.
And restraints. The Fujin Raijin 2. On May 5th, 2007, Expo Land Amusement Park in Osaka was packed with visitors for Children's Day. Fujin Raijin 2 was a stand-up roller coaster. 20 passengers boarded
Y'all
the...
not know how to the last stand-up roller coaster game. Like, come on now, y'all gonna keep like y'all keep it gotta be the same people making the same stuff again. Cause like it's like the same exact car.
6-car train, including 19-year-old university student Yoshino Kogawara. The train launched and began its course. As it traveled 131 feet above the ground, passengers heard a loud crack. The second car suddenly derailed. The wheel axle had snapped, causing the car to tilt violently. Kogawara was thrown against the guardrail at high speed. She struck her head and was killed instantly. The derailed car dragged the rest of the train for 984 feet before stopping. 19 other passengers...
Nobody else died. Like, you know how crazy is nobody else died. Everybody else keep dying though. Like, this is karma. Like, this is dead sad. Nobody else dying, but everybody else keep dying. Like, that's bad luck.
were injured. The investigation revealed extreme negligence. The park had skipped annual maintenance in 2007. The wheel axle had not been replaced in 15 years. Park officials had reported the axle as good condition, based only on visual inspection. The axle had cracked from metal fatigue. Proper testing would have detected the crack, but Expoland had bypassed all safety requirements. Expoland's attendance collapsed after the accident. The park briefly reopened but closed permanently in 2009 as the owners declared bankruptcy.
Dang.
The Son of Beast.
There's more to imagine when you listen. Audible.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. You would never catch me on a roller coaster. I'm lying. But not nothing like that now. One of my friends gonna have to drag me on a roller coaster.
In 2000, Kings Island opened Son of Beast, a wooden roller coaster that reached speeds of 78 miles per hour. The ride had problems from the start, with track malfunctions and rough jolting. In 2001, riders suffered broken vertebrae and a broken neck. Another passenger was hospitalized with back injuries in 2003. On July 9, 2006, 27 passengers were aboard when one train cracked a support beam while passing through the Rose Bowl section. The damaged beam caused the track to sag. When the next train hit the weakened section, the track dipped suddenly. The jolt was brutal. 27 people were rushed to hospitals with chest and neck injuries. One passenger said it felt like hitting a brick wall. The investigation found cracked and splintered wooden support beams throughout the structure. Son of Beast reopened after modifications, but another accident occurred in 2009. A passenger suffered a broken blood vessel in her head. The ride never operated again. It was demolished in 2012. Son of Beast had become one of the most notorious failures in roller coaster history. The Cobra. In 2008, the Cobra roller coaster opened at Tivoli Friheden Amusement Park in Aarhus, Denmark. Months after opening, the front car detached from the track. 4 young riders were injured with fractures and concussions. The park made repairs, and the Cobra
These is little kids that's dying to your stupid ride. Like, bro.
continued operating. On July 14, 2022, riders felt a jolt and heard cracking metal as the train went through its course. The rear car broke off from the track. The last row of seats detached and hung off the side of the coaster. A 14-year-old girl in the rear car was thrown and killed. A 13-year-old boy next to her suffered a hand injury but survived. The train ground to a halt. Park staff evacuated the area. The girl could not be saved. The same structural flaw had now caused 2 major accidents. Tivoli Friheden dismantled the Cobra the next day, and the ride was permanently closed. The Cobra had failed twice in identical fashion over 14 years of operation.
14
The
years.
Quimera. On September 28, 2019, visitors gathered at La Feria Chapultepec Mágico in Mexico City. Quimera was a triple loop steel roller coaster. The aging Schwarzkopf
So
model
happened last
had a
time, so
history of
triple loop.
maintenance issues. That day, witnesses saw the last car of a train shake violently and derail on a turn near the end of the ride. The rear car flipped upside down and detached completely. 2 riders were thrown out from 33 feet. 2 young men, ages 18 and 21, died from head injuries. 2 women were also injured when the car slammed into the
Did
structure.
they family sue them? Like, back then, was people actually suing people or no?
The investigation found that a component in the car's axle assembly had broken, causing it to detach. Mexico City authorities immediately closed La Feria Chapultepec. Investigators found multiple safety violations and revoked the park's permit. Within months, the historic amusement park was permanently shut down and dismantled. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for
did.
similar ones and feel free to
Okay. I
drop
got you,
suggestions
gang.
for the next
Nah,
video in the
nah,
comments.
shit, bro. Don't get on the roller coaster, gang. Please don't. At all. Alright, YouTube.